Hey everybody, we are back with part 2 of this match on Dylan's Dwelling. So we will continue with the battle here, and basically we return with Fisher's Fortress about to go down. He's pretty much out of the game, whereas Zorro is doing terrible damage to my forces. It looks like the only person I have left is Gothmog at level 4. And with that, Osiris finally realizing that I need some help sending over King Dane here. Now the fortress of Fisher has fallen. He has gotten out a builder and is hiding it behind the fortress of Zorro here. But at the same time, Bradloo in a lot of trouble here. Now Zorro's troops even coming over to help out here, ignoring my fortress for the moment. Probably a pretty smart idea, seeing as how he can't take this on head-on right now with just a bunch of archers. But he will continue to focus my farms, and that's going to severely cripple any production, any income I can get, which will alter my production. Now I have gone for a Nazgul here as a sort of a last-ditch effort. However, there's so many archers here that I wonder if this was the right choice. Maybe. Now we do have some archers coming down here, but those are Buffmidgets, and now this Nazgul in a ton of trouble. And yeah, he gets taken out right away, so that's about 3,000 resources down the drain. And King Dane here and my Gothmog really are the last line of defense as the dwarves continue to move forward, and now King Dane is out for a Buffmidget as well. So he will continue to push forward there. Meanwhile, it looks like the forces down here of Osiris were taken out. He does have a large number of dwarves reinforcements. However, Gothmog is actually not coming with him. He is coming, or Zorro has called him back. But Osiris should be able to push through here and take out the last structure of Fisher. No, he has built a additional orc pit here in the center, but at the moment the most he can afford to do is he has one mine and just producing off of that. Now Nazgul is out for Zorro as well, and he is going to find my farm, which has the industry bonus on it, giving me 137 resources per turn, or per about 5 seconds. And even though he's taking a lot of damage from this, it's definitely worth it to take this out as soon as possible. And one more go and that will be gone. So severely crippling my production here. That does go down. Now it looks like Bradloo was able to stabilize here with the help of King Dane and Gothmog on his side. He actually has Thranduil out, but as soon as Thranduil sees this, he is going to shit his pants for sure. And he's actually charging through. Actually a pretty smart idea, running by, trying to pull back some of the forces of the dwarves, and looks like Buffmidget is just going to send a single unit of dwarves. Maybe King Dane thinking about it, but Buffmidget being a little indecisive here. I'm not sure what he's doing, but Bradloo making a pretty smart move there, I think. Now it looks like Osiris is continuing to push down here with the rest of his forces. And Fisher's last farm and barracks here in a lot of trouble. But not as much trouble as I'm in, because Zorro has been spending this entire time building up all of his forces. Does he have fire archers yet? No, it looks like he's just gone for the catapults instead as a siege unit. And now he is moving forward. His forces led by Mouth of Sauron, who is at level 4, and Gothmog at level 6. And my measly forces here stand basically no chance, as now Buffmidget has pushed through on the bottom left-hand side. King Dane level 3, almost level 4. Thranduil trying to deal some damage from the back. And we actually have 2 King Danes here. Buffmidget and Osiris' King Dane remains over here fighting with Buffmidget's King Dane, and Buffmidget's King Dane has the backup, but he doesn't have the health. Oh, and there goes down the heal, and now Osiris in a lot of trouble, and he can't get out the heal, so Buffmidget's King Dane does win. Meanwhile, in the center, my fortress under siege. my hero's even alive anymore. Oh, Gimli's out too by, oh, this is Osiris' Gimli, actually. Sent over to help, but Mouth of Sauron runs through the pikemen, gets destroyed, and with that, my fortress is in a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, it looks like the Nazgul made quick work of all those dwarves in the lower left-hand or lower right-hand side. So Fisher will survive. The fortress of Zorro here not in a lot of trouble. Fisher only has this single barracks yet, but my fortress goes down, and the only thing I have left, I did get a Nazgul out at the last second, throws down the Screech, and I'm going to go for the siege works here, but a level 5 Nazgul against a level 2 Nazgul, not going to be good for me, and now I'm in a lot of trouble. I have a single barracks left over here on the right-hand side by Osiris, but Bradloo's still in a lot of trouble. Throwing up a tower here, but he doesn't have any units. He doesn't have any barracks to put anything in the tower. And has Thranduil gone down too? I believe so. King Thranduil is dead for all intents and purposes, and Osiris is just not able to pump out enough units to protect both me and Bradloo. And with that, Bradloo is going to be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, I mean, Osiris has this entire middle island, and he's producing a lot of income, but I don't think he can take on 3 enemy units here. Is this Osiris? Yeah, he has all of his dwarven heroes over here trying to save us as best as he can. And Bradloo is defeated as he is not able to get a builder out of there, and Buffmidget takes him down. So now it is basically a couple of my archers and my Nazgul is almost dead. It has had to land, and with that, here's my last farm basically, or I may have built one. No, I don't even have enough resources to build an additional farm. So with that, my last farm will fall, and any hopes I have of really coming back to this game with it. Really, our only chance right now is Osiris. He hasn't expanded down here into the lower right-hand side, although even if he did, I'm not sure it would be very safe. Just thinking to try and get some extra resources, but Fisher actually leaves the game as well, as he is completely out of resources. So it is a 2 versus 2 right now, but the forces here of Buffmidget and of Zorro are just too great, and all that we have left at this point is a Nazgul that's almost dead, and it looks like the remaining forces of Osiris were taken out. And with my Nazgul dying, I go ahead and leave the game as well. Surrender to the forces of Zorro and Buffmidget here. As look at this army. This is just the most destructive army I've ever seen. As there's just no way that a single king gain. This king is probably at level 8 now. So with that, that is going to be the conclusion of this game, with the victors being Buffmidget and King Dane Falls right there. Buffmidget and Zorro and Fisher taking that game, as Buffmidget and Zorro both able to win their battles against me and or Bradloo and myself respectively. And even Osiris able to defeat Fisher, take out his fortress first, just not able to take on the combined forces of us and Buffmidget here. Just watch how fast this fortress goes. Every time that stab takes about, I don't know, a fifth or 1/6 of the health of the fortress. And holy cow. Throws down the rebuild in a last-ditch effort to prolong the game as long as possible, but that is going to be the end of the game. The rock drop takes out any of his additional barracks there, most likely by Zorro or by Buffmidget, and he's throwing down an archery range here, but there's the rock drop on that, and Osiris is defeated. Well, great. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to catch any more videos. Thanks, and I will see you all later.